Hey everybody, my name is Rob Woodbridge from Untethered.tv. What you're about to see here is a clip, a short clip of a much longer episode. It can be found on Untethered.tv. So if you really are interested in this, go to Untethered.tv, do a search for this title, and you'll find it there. But enjoy this short clip.
People, for some reason, especially in the United States, don't think that there is people in the world who actually do not speak English.
What? There are? There are other people?
So, it's like it comes like a biggest surprise ever. But another detail, for example, of a success for us is that everybody pretty much kind of never did this, and we were the first who did. We started to customize every single title for every specific market. And I'm not talking just about, localization and translations of text, but I'm also saying implementing very tiny things which would be very, appealing for taking country. So, for example, in Japan, you need to make your characters to look more Asian, because then when the user in Japan would open an application, they would feel like the application has been created specifically for them. Not some guys in the United States, for example, and then here's the English version of the game, and you also, second sort of a market, you can enjoy it as well. But you need to be very attentive to your users. And it doesn't matter where you go, every single market creates its own rules. And if you want to succeed in it, and like I mentioned, like Japan, for example, and Korea are very tasty markets. They're very tasty markets for a lot of developers right now to go in, and with any type of content. And I'm not talking only about games, but also, for example, with NARR8, but nobody really wants to pay a very close attention to them, because there is the workload exceeds like any beyond understanding, because you need to put more time in it, more effort, probably more people, more resources, but then it always pays off. Everybody now everybody wants to enter those markets, because there is DNA, there is Greece, there is Rachel Behemoth, for example. Everybody, they know how well monetizes those users. But what we say, it's a little bit delayed, because we're already there, and we're definitely going to dominate I would say local developers, which we love. But
I find it so fascinating, because this is really people talk about the early days of the App Store, and I've spent some time with some of the top grossing, top downloaded app makers in the App Store history in North America, right? And I say, what was the key for you guys? And they said, well, we acted quickly. We put one foot in front of the other, and when we heard that this was coming, we built for the platform, and then by lo and behold, we were first in. And then we have owned that spot for the last 6 years as a result of that being first in. And I kind of get the sense that that's exactly what you guys did, taking a different tack, looking out and saying, where are the emerging markets? Where can we be first in, first revenue? Where can we protect ourselves the most once we're in there? Did that go through your head as you were going through that process?
Mostly yes, but we also we're a big company. You grew to 500 people right now in 3 years, and we actually hope to be by the end of this year 700 people. But we still don't have enough resources, because every market requires more and more and more people per se, at least. And with emerging markets, and be the first is a great thing, but you also need to evaluate your risks very carefully, because be the first somewhere in China, it's not necessarily going to bring you revenues to support your people and your team. So for developers, it's very important to actually understand not to just go to every single emerging market there is right now, because there is a lot, but you actually need to go to markets where users monetize, or you can create something and be sure that you can monetize them. It doesn't matter if they monetizes on a level Japanese users do, because Japanese users actually bring the highest RPU right now in the industry. But if you go to Chinese, there is a lot of people and very high internet penetration as well right now. Monetization is way lower, but if you can figure out that, there is, monetization probably going to be 10 times less than in Japan per user, but still, There's like 500 million users right now. So, and if you can figure out how to monetize them, you're definitely gonna figure out the market. Right now it's like a lot of people talking about, for example, in Africa and India and like some other countries like Turkey, for example, right? So before actually entering the market, everybody wants to be the first, right? But if you're gonna be the first with no revenue generated, nobody gonna still know about you. So that's very, thin line over there. You need to actually like evaluate everything very carefully.
How important was it that you were based in Europe? I mean, when this was going on, how deliberate was this decision for you? This is going to be my last question on Game Insight, because this is strategic, right? When you're looking across at the U.S. and the turmoil that goes on with that, discovery is broken, as we kind of we went through that table. It's everybody's doing all the same things, and none of it's working unless you think a little differently. So how strategic was it? Did you look over there and say, nah, we're going to go this way because you have the experience?
Yes, we do now. I say that first year of our business activity, because we were also social gaming company. Facebook already was exploding, but at that time the local social networks like VZNet, for example, in Germany, Friendster in Philippines and Malaysia, all those still existed, and they were generating great revenue. So we were trying to put our product pretty much everywhere. And for us, first, I would say like 6 months of the establishment of Game Insight, it was like testing and see where the markets are. But at this time right now, we actually don't have that opportunity in terms of to go and enter every single market, because we simply don't have as much resources, even though we're hiring constantly.